Vladimir Putin is visiting a school in Moscow, but the problem is he wants to have a chat with the kids. The atmosphere in the brightly lit assembly hall of Moscow School number 47 was one of meticulously staged enthusiasm. The children, all handpicked for their excellent grades and impeccable behavior, sat rigidly upright. Today was a momentous occasion, a personal visit from President Vladimir Putin. The event was designed to be a showcase of Russia's glorious future. President Putin stood at a polished mahogany lectern, flanked by stern-faced security personnel. He spoke to the assembled students about the national greatness, about how Russia is a powerful, resilient nation, and how his ultimate goal was to ensure prosperity and the best possible future for its citizens. His tone was measured, calm, and powerfully authoritative. He concluded his prepared remarks with a generous, paternal smile. Now, I want to hear from you. We are all family here. Does anybody want to ask the president of Russia a question? The room remained silent for a beat too long, full of nervous, excited tension. Then a small, tentative hand shot up in the third row. It belonged to a boy everyone knew as Little Johnny. Putin's smile widened, pleased by the display of civic engagement. Ah yes, a curious young man. Let's hear it. Go ahead, son. Little Johnny, looking acutely nervous but determined, stood up, clutching his hands tightly. He swallowed hard before speaking, his voice barely a squeak, yet carrying clearly through the microphone that was rushed to his side. Mr. President, Johnny began, his eyes darting toward the security detail. I have 2 questions. Excellent. Let's hear them both. Putin said, leaning slightly toward the boy, ready to deliver practiced, reassuring answers. Johnny took a shaky breath and asked, my first question is, why are we sending troops to Ukraine? And my second question is, why did the Russians invade Crimea? The smooth, carefully managed atmosphere of the hall instantly evaporated. The silence that followed was thick enough to suffocate a person. The faces of the teachers and the security personnel went instantly pale, their posture shifting from relaxed formality to rigid alarm. These are not questions asked on state television. Putin, however, maintained his composure with unnerving patience. He gave a slow, deliberate nod. Those are very good questions, Johnny, he said, his voice calm. Questions that show you are paying attention to the world, and I am happy to address them. Just as he was about to formulate his reply, the bell violently rang. The sound was unusually loud and jarring, cutting abruptly through the dense silence. It was immediately followed by a teacher rushing to the front, announcing with forced cheerfulness that it was time for the midday meal. The students, grateful for the reprieve, hurried out for their lunch break. But something was immediately strange. This lunch break seemed to be much, much longer than usual. The students milled about, whispering anxiously, and the cafeteria felt eerily subdued. The clock ticked past the usual allotted time for lunch, then past the entire next scheduled class. Finally, after an unsettlingly long period, the children were ushered back into the assembly hall. They sat down in their familiar places. The stage was exactly as it had been, with President Putin standing calmly behind the lectern. Putin looked out over the quieter, more subdued group. All right, he said, there's time for a few more questions, if anyone is brave enough. Another hand hesitantly rose in the back row. This time, it was a boy named Timmy. Yes, Timmy, go ahead, Putin invited. Timmy was clearly scared at first, but he took a deep, steadying breath, stood up, and spoke. Mr. President, I have 4 questions. Putin leaned back, looking mildly amused. 4? Okay, Timmy, go ahead and ask them. Timmy's voice was steadier than Johnny's had been, but the questions were delivered with the same direct, almost innocent bluntness. Timmy asked, my first question is, why are we sending troops to Ukraine? My second question is, why did the Russians invade Crimea? My third question is, why did the bell go 20 minutes early? And my fourth question is, where is little Johnny?